So welcome back to game time, England 360. What's the plan?
Fly fishing. Been putting this off since about January. We did say in the back in the Grayling vlog that
Is to get the fly rods back out. The river fly rods in 4 weights. But instead
wait.
But instead of going after Grayling, we're after a river brown trout. Now we've got brown trout before, we've got some nice brown trout, but we've never actually specifically targeted river fish with the fly. So that'll be something completely different.
And as I say, I've been putting the fly fishing off because I ain't got a clue. I'm not very good at it. However, past few weeks, through a few evenings, Dazza and I have been on the Lake of Menteith fly fishing for the pike. And I feel as if my confidence is a wee bit up with the ability to cast a bit better. So when we were down here the other day, fishing for the sea trout for the catch, clean, cook video that we done, there was some amount of fish on the surface, wasn't there?
Fish everywhere.
But we did notice fry cutting about the shallows and the fish smashing them. So I took a wee extra few days off work, as you do. I thought, I'm leaving the lure rod in the house, I'm leaving the lure box in the house, and I'm only bringing the fly stuff down.
Uh-oh.
Picks Alex up, he turns up with a fly rod and a lure rod, and I said, there's no lure rods today. We're just going all out fly. So this is the first punt at it, and then tomorrow we're going for the brown trout on the River Clyde.
That's the big challenge.
That is the big challenge.
That river fly fishing is something that none of us have ever done before, so that'll be interesting. This, however, is still water fly fishing. Although it's coastal, it's still very similar, so a wee bit more confident today.
We do know this area very well. We do know where the fish tend to hold up, and there are like fish just coming out of the water there.
Plenty of fish there, so there's no excuses really.
But if you are new to the channel, this is Alex and I'm Gordon, and it's Angling 360 on Instagram and Alex Allen Angling on Facebook. If you haven't followed us on social media, that's where you'll find us, kind of daily updates and what we're up to and such have you. And thanks for tuning in. So as I say, this is our new venture, the old fly fishing. So if you are here to get some tips and some tricks and some how-tos,
nah, go elsewhere.
Go elsewhere, we'll be honest. We'll only try and kid on, we're pro anglers.
Definitely
here.
not expert fly anglers, but
not in the slightest. This is a big steep learning curve, a bit of fun, and we'll see where we end up. So I believe we're fishing 2 flies, a point fly and a dropper.
Aye, to start with anyway.
I've got a kind of sand deal in the point fly, is it?
Yeah.
And a kind of teal blue
and silver type thing.
Bit of fluff. I forgot to wear my fluff chuckers hat today.
That's
I
it.
bought that specifically. So other than that, let's get cracking.
Yeah, stop putting it
Anything
off. Let's go on with it.
I know.
Yeah.
That summed up the sea trout fishing, didn't it?
Didn't quite go to plan. But,
Oh, it did for me in a way. It was a step in the right direction, we'll call it.
At least
I
you
hooked.
a fish, you know, but
How'd you get on?
ah, shush.
Well.
Didn't touch a fish all session.
I think
There was fish moving as well, it was weird.
there
you
was
know,
loads
it
of fish again. I
Fish-
changed from a sand deal, kind of clear looking point fly to a blue and yellow point fly, and the first cast I got a hit. Third or fourth cast I hooked one. I think what happened was when I was trying to, it turned towards me, and and then it turned again. I think that process, I've made the hole in the mouth bigger, and the hook pinged out the second run it made. Absolutely raging.
Trout are hard. They're hard enough to keep on. They're wily. and they
Aye,
make good their escape quite a lot of the time. But nah, that was garbage.
Did get hooked another one, but my point, a dropper, snapped the line in
I
it,
think it broke, yeah. But
and then I had another 2 or 3 follows. So it kind of, what it did for me was it heightened the confidence, and it made me realise and think to myself, well, I must be doing something right.
you were putting out a good line by the end.
Eventually.
The line was going out nice. The casting was nice. Covering fish, but frustrating. So, plan B.
Do it again. On a river.
Plan B. I've no clue what I'm doing here. Absolutely no clue. Got the nymph rods out. I've actually put a fly line on it this time. If you remember back during our grayling vlogs, I gave the sort of Euro nymphing a go. Just didn't enjoy it, just didn't like it at all. So at least with a fly line I can actually put a line out rather than just flicking upstream and trundling downstream and flicking upstream. It's just
I think we dubbed it Scottish nymphing.
This
is new Scottish nymphing.
It's upstream nymphing, but if you're a purist, you'll probably disagree because I am going to use an indicator, whether you like it or not. Tough. I'm going to make. I just want to catch
Fish
a
are
fish.
all rising when you said they would be rising.
They're wee fish. We want big fish.
I'll take anything. Anything.
We will. We'll take anything. River fishing, fly fishing, absolutely clueless. We did, like I said, we gave it a go for the grayling in the winter.
Yeah, that was a failed.
Massive failure.
What I will say, I think with the success we've had throughout the year on other types of fishing we've had, it came to me the other day. I want a challenge. I really want to try and. I do want to get into the fly fishing. Don't get me wrong, yesterday for about 2 hours I thought I'm only half an hour up the road, I could go and get my lure rod and my bombardier floats and that, and I've still got some mackerel sets, but I held out, I stuck with it. And it's like Alex says, back in the grayling, when we first went to a certain beat at the start of just before Christmas, come the end of the season we kind of sussed it out, didn't we? I think it's that time you put in and learning it and making mistakes. You've got to make mistakes to be able to learn.
It takes time to learn any style of fishing. It just so happens that we're quite experienced in lure fishing, feeder fishing, float fishing, all that sort of thing, and it comes now, eventually it starts to come quite easily. This
Literally feel like a fish out of water.
different story, but there's only one way to get better.
To keep doing it. So we're going to crack on. First of all, we're going to start with this, as Alex says, nymphs. These wee things that look like a BB shot with some bits and bobs in the end of it. I'm not too sure what they're called. Just know they're called nymphs. You're doing the same.
Similar, yep.
We picked up some dry flies and some fluidy stuff that keeps the fly buoyant and that's carry on. We will get a bash, we will get into the lingo and all that. But this is just a giggle. This will be a laugh. Said that driving down. Let's not take this too. We're not after a £7. We're after a £7.
I am after a £7 trout, definitely.
Because these brown trout are stunning. And thanks to the guys that obviously messaged us through the week to offer their advice.
Well, wait until after today before you thank
No.
them.
It's an excuse to put a good picture up of a trout. Here's one that's Scott Hamilton. He recently won the River National Championships, I think it's called. I've been following the guy for a few years now. His photography skills and his fishing skills are put them together, man. His Instagram's unbelievable. Some of the fish he catches, that's what's inspired me to give this a go. So thanks for your help, Scott, and telling us how to go about it. So this is Alex, I'm Gordon.
And we're just about to see his blanking again.
I'm going to try and catch it.
I'll give that a go. Come on.
Let's go. So casting upstream, keeping in touch with my line, keeping the bow out my line, sorry. Dead drifting that indicator down. When it gets past me, mend the line. Oh, is that a bite? I'm not tangled up, am I? This is always my pet hate with fly fishing. I always end up tangled up. If my indicator's downstream, how do I strike downstream? But
Straight towards the bank behind you.
right. We're no tangled up, so that's a good start. I do feel a lot better this time round than the last time we tried this.
What is that?
'Cause I feel as if I'm able to put a better line out. I know technically you don't need to cast far, you're kind of just fishing at a rod's length at times. And let it just hang up in the water.
Yeah, it's just the dangle.
I think like any fishing, but it's not until you get a bite or your first fish, that's when the confidence goes in it. Until then, I always remember doing it at the Trent with the barbel when we were on our own. It wasn't until that first run, and that first fish that you think we're doing it right. Up until that point you're questioning everything you do, which for me just plummets the confidence. You can't enjoy it because you're just questioning everything you're doing. And that's just catching the bottom there, isn't it?
This is when the rod goes in the water. Nope. dear. At least the hooked one, again.
Well, I got the sign I was looking for, you know that I was doing things right. Finally hooked a fish. As you saw, I lost it. Felt not too bad. I know it's only a 3-4 weight fly rod, but by God, it didn't have to put a bend in the rod. And it took line, took me out of the line I had spare, and then I was onto the reel. And then I don't know, I've loosened my reel right up now. I don't know whether my reel was just a wee bit too tight or what, then I just pulled the hook. Alex did have a look at the flies, and my point flies at barbless, which obviously will no help matters, but aye, it's got the confidence up, so we'll be staying. This wind's no helping matters. It's quite difficult. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Every wee pull, every wee stuck to tugging the bottom, just striking at everything. It's getting that confidence in it. Like I said earlier. Oh, you bastard.
So one thing that's become apparent is I don't think this is going to be easy. We're making hard work of it, but we're sticking at it, and we're back on the river. We're back on the Clyde. We're back out the fly rods. It'll happen. We'll get there eventually. We just need to suss it out. As soon as we suss this out, it'll be a fish a chuck, he says. But yeah, back on the Clyde, but much further downstream than where we were. A much bigger river at this point. Hopefully more fish. Maybe not to the size that we could get on the upper river, but I reckon there'll be more of them here, so there's hopefully a better chance of a fish. Plenty grayling in this area as well, so not just the trout, but we might pick up a couple of grayling as well. But yeah, met the bailiff, which is nice.
He was giving us a heads up about the salmon.
Aye, apparently there's a lot of growth in the river just now, so you never know. But yeah, we're back at it. It can only get better. Conditions are looking good. Let's see how it goes. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been on the river. We did attempt it, I did have plans to attempt it last week, but there was a lot of rain on the Saturday, put the river up, it was rising, it was coloured, so we decided against it. But we were still quite keen to keep the fly rods out, so we were forced. Ooh, we were forced to go and harass somebody's pet fish. And even then, stocked fish, you expect it to be easy? No chance. It was hard going. But managed a couple of fish, and it was nice to get a fish in the net. And it was a nice one at that. But it doesn't count. We're after wild fish. This whole video is about wild fish, whether it be sea trout, whether it be brown trout. Effectively, they're the same thing. But yeah, that big brown trout, that's what we're after. We were talking in the car on the way down there about what is a big brown trout. And at the minute, half a pound. Well, that was a bit slow in the uptake there, wasn't it? Yeah, anything but ideally, eventually, a fish of about 4 or 5 pounds would be nice. So with all fishing, watercraft is really important. Most of the time we're quite comfortable with it. We're still learning our way on a river. But this bit of water here, it looks like the kind of water that we'd fish through the winter for grayling. Fairly flat, but with some kind of upwellings and kind of boils that shows that there's big rocks in there and whatnot. So I reckon it might be worth a couple of casts through here. I think winter grayling fishing, probably. I mean, you can keep us right. I think the type of water we would be fishing in the winter might be slightly different to where we'd be fishing in the summer. There's only one way to find out, isn't there? Let's have a wander out here. Those big boulders, you need to be careful of when you're wading though. I like that, look at this big boulder. There's a big boulder here with an upwelling behind it. Watch my back cast as well. That was the cast there, that went right through that seam that I was aiming for. It's just come the other side of it there. A bit further out. Yeah, I like the look of this. We'll work our way up through here. See if we can eventually get that fish.
we're back at the car, spot of lunch, midday report, nothing. Absolute zero fish. This bit looks good. We spend a bit of time at it, nothing. Next bit didn't look so good, too deep. I'm honestly starting to think this might never happen. So it's only 1 o'clock. See, we're back at the car, we're going to finish our lunch, head back upstream. Alex seems pretty confident at this bridge bit. Kind of shallower water, faster running. Oh, aye, I'm losing all hope, to be totally honest. But we'll keep plodding away. See where we end up. So this wee bit's about my wee rant I had there. Alex says to me, how do you think you're fishing? And I genuinely feel as if my casting's better. I'm understanding the drift, the dead drifting. But it's just the lack of fish, the confidence. So you start questioning. And what I'm doing now is questioning my knowledge of what flies to use. And I mean, it's an absolute minefield of fluff. I don't know what it means.
I think it is easy to get carried away with all the technicalities of fly fishing, the names of the flies and different diameters of beads and all that. See if you've got something reasonable that represents a nymph and you're fishing it in the right depth of water, you're in with a shout. So I don't think we should be getting too caught up on the ins and outs and the technicalities and whatnot.
It's like when folks say match the hatch, I'm like, what? Just a fly to me.
I think a wee bit more research is needed with regards to fly choice and when to use them and things like that. But let's not get too caught up in that just now. I think we're fishing quite effectively. We're covering the water. I think we're fishing in the right depth. That wee grayling there that I hooked and lost just gave me the slightest little bit of confidence that
it's that sign that you're doing things right, isn't it?
So no, it's easy to be hard on ourselves because we are, luckily enough, used to catching plenty of fish. So this is quite alien to us. And I think that's why we're finding it quite tough.
I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed learning it. I've actually started to look forward to going.
See, they wanted a challenge.
Aye, well.
Got one.
But I'm also not sure about the colour of the water.
It's coloured, which is weird. Wasn't expecting that. But I honestly don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. It's not chocolate. It's a tinge of colour to it. But it's another thing when you're struggling. You look for every excuse you possibly can.
There's no excuses. It's genuinely. Do you know what I mean? It's like, are you putting the fly in the right bit? Right, okay, you've got the technique right, but you're fishing in the right section. And there's a couple of guys that said fish behind the rocks.
Aye, no.
One with the dead water, and just drift it past and trying all that. And I did get a wee pull further downstream earlier this morning.
We've just fished through this run here and it just looks brilliant. It looks perfect. But aye, the look as perfect as it wants, but until I get a fish,
aye,
until we get a fish.
Right, cue the music.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Keep it going.
I'm going to try and get on. This will be a fade out. Right, so for all you tackle tarts out there, I know there's folk out there ask quite a lot about rods, reels we use. Now, I do my best here with the fly stuff. It's a wee 3-weight, 4-weight fly reel for greys. The wee fin range that they do, nice light reel. And a Witchwood Q-Flow 4-weight nymph rod. I think it's 10 foot, is it? 10 foot. Nice light rod for basically holding all day long, catching nothing. Now I've got a tapered leader on here. That's my wee indicator. Down to my dropper, which is black bat thread. Alex might know the name of that one.
No, I don't. I have no idea what that is.
And then about a couple of foot down to the nymph, another black bat of thread with a silver bead. And that's as much as you're going to get out of me for, for the knowledge of what I'm using. Like I say, sorry I'm a bit done, but it's tough going. It really is. But determined I'm getting one. I'm not giving up till I get one. So.
So Gordon was saying there how flies are just bits of thread and fluff, and he's not really too sure on the names and things like that. Me neither. I'm not. But what I am using, I am fairly familiar with. Now I'm quite familiar with stillwater fly fishing for rainbows and Loch trout, things like that. But when it comes to the river, I struggle a little bit. But yeah, flies I'm using today. Little gold head hare's ear. At least I think that's what it is. And I've had fish on. I've had fish on this before. Then on the dropper, very kind of sparse. I think it might be a pheasant tail nymph. Gold bead. So small-ish flies, not going tiny. A lot of guys were mentioning size 16s and size 18s. I think these are size 12, size 10s. And yeah, I've switched about a little bit with the flies that I've been using, but they're all very, very similar. They're all beaded nymphs. If I'm fishing shallow water, I will take a beaded nymph off the dropper and maybe an unweighted fly there and just kind of switching about. The rod, we do so much fishing, we try to keep everything on a budget. So this is, I quite like it. It is a budget rod, or a sort of entry level rod. It's a Shakespeare Oracle, 10-foot river, in a 4-weight, with a Vision Fishu reel. That's loaded with a 4-weight floating line. And yeah, just, I don't know why I'm telling you this, because it's not caught any fish. This is the stuff to avoid. Don't use these flies. This rod is rubbish. Yeah, for purists, you will disagree, I would imagine. But yeah.
Why is that? Why? What's the...
I don't know, you need to ask a purist. I don't know, I think it might be classed as cheating. I think effective sort of upstream nymphing, you use the indicator as the tip of the fly line, or I don't know. I have absolutely no idea, but I've heard a lot of people get stick for using what is commonly now become referred to as the bung, which I hate. But yeah, that's the setup, that's the flies. And yeah, let's just stick at it. Haha, got one. We'll be really quick with this one because it is a valuable little fish. It isn't the trout we came for, not even a grayling. Little salmon par. Lovely condition little fish, getting back in a quickish. But hey, it's a fish on a nymph, and it's another one that's just every little anything to give confidence, I'll happily take. Oh, we've left the river behind. It was becoming a little bit tedious. We were struggling a wee touch, but we've not given up on it completely. We'll definitely go back to it. We might wait until early next season before giving it a right proper go. So yeah, no luck on the rivers, no luck on the estuary on the fly. Done all right on the spinning rod and with the mackerel strip and whatnot, but the fly's just not proven fruitful at all. So we've come up to the Highlands. We're a fair bit from home, and we've passed by this loch quite frequently. And we always look in, think, you know what, that looks lovely, and it does. And we knew there was fish here. Now it's one of these sort of Highland lochs. They don't hold massive fish. In fact, the majority of fish are really quite small, but they're stunning little fish. We've seen photographs, and we've always meant to come up. So perfect opportunity. We're here. And we've been fishing around this shore here. Very shallow, rocky, loads of features to cast to. And eventually, after a couple of perch, come across one of the resident brown trout. I was just saying to Gordon there how stunning that little fish is. It's quite unique. You know, it's almost got a kind of marbled, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's kind of marbled back to it. He's off. But yeah, stunning little fish. Let's see if we can get a few more. So yeah, we're still fishing the fly. That fish took top dropper. I'm fishing a sort of standard Loch style team of 3. And that's a little kind of sparsely tied claret. I think it might be a claret bumble, I'm not too sure. It's a fly that I'm quite confident in using. I've had a few fish on that. But yeah, we'll run through the flies, the setup, once I untangle the mess that little fish has made to my cast. But yeah, standard team of 3. I think Gordon's fishing slightly different. But what a place this is, look at that. Might have got a wee one.
Alex, another fish.
Fly this time. Take a point fly this time.
Alex into his 3rd fish. I think I'll be knocking that fly off him. Well, you've probably gathered this video isn't something we've shot in one day. This has been over, I think it was 7 weeks. Many solo sessions, many sessions together, many fallouts, tantrums. I lost a fish on the Clyde, lost a fish in the estuary, and then nothing for weeks, absolutely nothing. So we decided, as Alex said earlier, to try one of these Highland Lochs. And well, when folks say, you know, you can't catch fish here. You get there with kind of, me personally, you think, I'm going to go up here and blank, aren't I? But stuck with it, kept the lid on it, kept the calmness, just, and this wee trout actually nailed my fly there. Thankfully, Alex had looked at my flies and he sorted these out with a kind of heavier point fly and another bit of fluff, you know what I'm like. But finally, and we've called this video A Million Casts. Keep saying casks because I work. A million casts. It could be 10 million casts, it could be, but that's what it feels like. It feels like a trillion casts, but finally. So I've been keeping this beautiful little wild trout in the net. So just quickly, look at that. Might not be big, but what they lack in size they make up for in beauty, if you ask me. Like Alex pointed out earlier, this marbled kind of effect on it, and the other strangely spotted. Not like your usual trout you'd see in the Clyde. Very few red spots. I think predominantly, Alex, you mentioned there, the kind of olive greens. Right, he's obviously wanting to go back, so we'll send him on his way. A million casts, huh? Literally, I think I took that. Right, let's go and get a bigger one.
Hey! What's he doing? Can't watch anymore. So for weeks I couldn't catch one in the fly. Now I've went and caught 2 fish on the one cast. I took 21, bringing it in. I seen a swirl and I thought, nah, surely something's no followed that in. And then my line started going in 2 different directions. I've only went and caught 2 lovely wee trout. I'll lift them up. Yeah. Totally different for the other 2 that we've got. A lot more kind of buttery looking. We'll get them back straight away. Right, we close up. Fly fishing's a doddle, isn't it?
A million casts.
I felt like it.
I'll tell you one thing. I love my fishing. But I can't wait to pack the rods away, the fly rods away. It was...
Temporarily.
Aye. This was a difficult one. Patience. Tempers. Flakies. I think we had them all. And as I said earlier, this has been filmed over about 6-7 weeks, I reckon.
Fourth session, isn't it? One session on the coast after sea trout, a couple of sessions on the Clyde, struggling. So I thought, we'll come up here, we've heard there's plenty of fish in these lochs.
Finally.
And we finally managed a couple of fish now. They weren't big, but you don't come here to catch big fish. You come here to catch them on the fly, using traditional sort of wet flies. I think we both switched to because the traditional stuff. I think we're getting them on bibios, black barrels.
As soon as that changed,
Cape McLarens, things like that.
getting hits for 3 or 4 fish.
Good fun. And look at that. That's why you come here. You don't come to catch big fish, you come to fish in as wild a loch as it gets.
We did say at the start of this, the goal was a £5 wild brownie. That'll be next year's goal.
Aye, 5 ounces. I don't even think we managed 5 ounces today, but it's...
One thing I took for this whole journey is at least I've learned a little bit about fly fishing. I can comfortably come out. I mean, the conditions today, I've cut today's shot. The weather forecast is the absolute polar opposite of what it said it was going to be. The wind is, Alex was down there to try and cast and it just back and scooting, so we're going to go get some mushrooms, aren't we?
Aye, going to finish our wee foraging trip. But nah, definitely, just like Gordon said there, it was a wee intro into the river nymphing, so we've got a better understanding of it now, so we can take it into a fresh season next year, nice and early.
Earlier this time.
Aye, right in at March, I think, gives us a better chance of getting some fish.
Definitely going to hit the sea trout
earlier.
As soon as the greyland's done,
so,
straight into the sea trout.
So definitely more fly fishing to come, but no this year. That's it.
Aye,
fly rods away this year. We've still got a lot to do before the end of the year. We've got a lot planned, so we'll see you wherever that may be.
Yes.
Right, we're done.
I think we're done.
1 million casts.
Part 1. Done.
Part 1.
Right, we'll back it.